Welcome to the Calm Mind channel. Today, we're going to talk about a topic that's close to my heart and crucial for our personal development: maturity. Maturity isn't just about growing older. It's about how we grow, how we evolve, and how we respond to the world around us. It's about making choices that reflect our personal growth and understanding. Today, we're focusing on a specific aspect of maturity: learning to walk away from people and situations that threaten our peace of mind, self-respect, values, morals, or self-worth. I know, it sounds tough, right? But let me share a personal story with you. A few years ago, I found myself in a friendship that was more draining than fulfilling. I was constantly feeling disrespected and my values were being compromised. It took me a while to realize that I was in a toxic situation. But once I did, I made the difficult decision to walk away. It wasn't easy, but it was necessary for my peace of mind and self-respect. And that's what we're going to explore today: the power of walking away, the strength in choosing ourselves, and the maturity it takes to make these tough decisions. Understanding maturity. Now that we've set the stage, let's dive deeper into understanding what maturity really means. Maturity, in the context of personal growth, is about developing the ability to respond to the environment in an appropriate manner. This response is influenced by the understanding we have of ourselves and the world around us. But there are common misconceptions about maturity. Some people equate it with age, but we all know that's not true. We've met young people who are incredibly mature and older individuals who still have a lot of growing up to do. Maturity is also closely linked to emotional intelligence. It's about being aware of and managing our emotions, and understanding the emotions of others. It's about empathy, self-control, and thoughtful response. For example, when I chose to walk away from that toxic friendship, it wasn't out of anger or spite. It was a decision made with understanding and emotional control. I recognized the negative impact the relationship was having on me and chose to prioritize my mental and emotional health. That's what maturity looks like. It's not about never making mistakes, but about learning from them. It's about making decisions that align with our values and contribute to our growth. Identifying threats to your peace of mind, self-respect, values, morals, and self-worth. Now that we've understood what maturity is, let's talk about how to identify threats to our peace of mind, self-respect, values, morals, and self-worth. These threats can come in many forms. They could be toxic relationships, negative environments, or situations that force us to compromise our ethical standards. These threats can have a significant impact on our mental health and personal growth. They can drain our energy, lower our self-esteem, and lead us to make decisions that we're not proud of. So, how do we identify these threats? It starts with self-awareness. Are you constantly feeling stressed or anxious? Do you feel like you're always on the defensive? Are you compromising your values to fit in or to avoid conflict? In my case, I realized that I was constantly feeling disrespected and my values were being compromised. I was more stressed and less happy. That's when I knew I was in a harmful situation. Remember, it's important to listen to your feelings and trust your instincts. If something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. The power of walking away. Having identified the threats, let's now talk about the power of walking away. Walking away from a harmful situation or person is not a sign of weakness. On the contrary, it's a testament to your strength and self-respect. It's about recognizing that you deserve better. It's about choosing peace over chaos, respect over disrespect, and values over convenience. Let me share a story. I once knew a woman who was in a toxic work environment. She was constantly belittled and her ideas were always dismissed. But she chose to walk away, despite the financial uncertainty. Today, she runs her own successful business and is much happier. In my case, walking away from that toxic friendship was one of the best decisions I've ever made. It was difficult, yes, but it opened up space for healthier relationships and experiences in my life. That's the power of walking away. It's about choosing yourself, your peace, and your growth. It's about understanding that you have the right to protect your mental and emotional health. Strategies for walking away. Now that we've understood the power of walking away, let's discuss some strategies to help you do so when the time comes. Firstly, it's important to distance yourself gradually from the harmful person or situation. This could mean reducing the time you spend with them, or limiting the tasks you do that expose you to the negative environment. Secondly, setting boundaries is crucial. Make it clear what behavior you will not tolerate. This could be through direct communication or through your actions. Thirdly, learn to say no. It's a powerful word that can help you maintain your self-respect and self-worth. Remember, you have the right to refuse anything that makes you uncomfortable or threatens your peace of mind. When I decided to walk away from my toxic friendship, I used these strategies. I gradually reduced our interactions, set clear boundaries, and learned to say no to situations that I felt were disrespectful or harmful. Remember, walking away is not about punishing the other person or situation. It's about taking care of yourself. It's about recognizing your worth and making choices that reflect that. The aftermath of walking away. Walking away can bring a sense of relief, but it can also bring challenges. Let's talk about the aftermath of walking away. You might feel a sense of loss or emptiness. You might second-guess your decision or feel guilty for choosing yourself. These feelings are normal. It's important to acknowledge them and allow yourself to grieve the loss. But remember, you made this decision for a reason. To cope with these feelings, focus on self-care. Surround yourself with positive influences. Engage in activities that you love and that make you feel good about yourself. When I walked away from my toxic friendship, I felt a sense of loss. But I also felt a sense of relief. I focused on taking care of myself, spending time with positive influences, and doing things that I loved. It helped me reinforce my decision and move forward. In the long run, choosing peace and self-respect will lead to personal growth and healthier relationships. It's a journey, and it's okay to take it one step at a time. Conclusion. As we wrap up our discussion today, let's quickly recap what we've learned. Maturity is about personal growth and emotional intelligence. It's about making decisions that reflect our understanding of ourselves and the world around us. We've learned to identify threats to our peace of mind, self-respect, values, morals, and self-worth. We've discussed the power of walking away and the strategies to do so. We've also talked about the aftermath of walking away and how to cope with it. Remember, it's okay to feel a sense of loss or guilt. But it's important to focus on self-care and positive influences. In my journey, walking away from a toxic friendship was a difficult but necessary decision. It led to personal growth and healthier relationships. I encourage you all to prioritize your peace of mind, self-respect, and self-worth. Remember, it's not just about growing older, it's about growing wiser and stronger.